First one up is the 13th bone. Physical attack and magic attack increased by 110% for each Omen inscription in position. With 9 of these, you get 9,070% damage. This is what this looks like. Just everything is just demolished. One shot everything. Second up, we got Symbol of Death. When a critical hit lands, an arrow of death appears around the enemy. Upon reaching 5 arrows of death, all arrows are fired at the end. Arrows of death deal damage according to the higher attack power. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And it literally just one-shots them. Boom. All the arrows just fire down and kill them instantly. Third up is Sword of Chaos. When using your basic attack, ominous thorns rise from the ground around the head, inflicting physical damage. Here's what it looks like on enemies. Just boom. Massive damage. And it does indeed stack pretty well. Okay, now we have the Soul Killer. In a basic attack, swing the Soul Killer to deal damage according to the higher attack power between physical and magic. This is what it looks like on enemies. Just a massive damage. Is this worth stacking? I think so. Shard of Darkness. This is one of the unique ones. Physical attack and magic attack increased by 70%. But as you can see, they turn into Unknown Darkness instead. Physical attack and magic attack increased by 250%. Upon receiving fatal damage, restore 1 HP to survive death, and it refreshes after 50 enemies are dead. And it also gives 100% damage increase up to 400% for every death. So in total, this is a 650% damage increase for each of them. So I'd say this might be one of the best ones to get. And now we have the Scepter of Whispers. Ominous thorns attack a nearby enemy at random every 6 seconds, inflicting magic damage. This is how it works. Literally just everything around you just dies. You don't have to do anything. Next up is the Revelation of the Red Star. Create a red star zone upon attacking an enemy. Cooldown 10 seconds. Red star draws in enemies and disappears after 2 seconds. When it disappears, it deals damage based on the higher attack power and deals 50% more damage per enemies inside the zone. This is what it looks like. Just an ominous thing. And yeah, it does massive amounts of damage. Next up, we got the Mad Harpoon. Leave a mark upon attacking an enemy to deal 45% more damage to enemies. With the mark can be left on up to 1 enemy. Marks cannot be left on any other enemies until the enemy with the mark dies. This one's a little odd because the mark it's talking about is completely invisible, and it just activates whenever you attack some. Irresistible Suggestion. Physical attack increases by 90%. Okay, so this is just an 810% damage increase, and if you die, that just doubled. Idol of the Forgotten. When alternating, the Omen hangs over all the surrounding area, dealing damage according to the higher attack power. The energy of bad omens is considered an alternating skill. Basically, it's just a giant wave of just fire, and it does stack, as you can see. Okay, this is the Howling Egg. It's just basically a 810% damage increase, which doubles when you lose your revive, so it's just, instead of physical, it's for magical. The Desire Omen. This is just the elemental that casts an Omen Nightmare on all surrounding enemies to deal damage over time. Damage is amplified as an elemental is amplified. Damage dealt to enemies as an elemental is amplified, so this just boosts every single one. Special thing about this is it creates a dark oprion. And this is just oprion but buffed. And in general, the spirits are just very OP. Deal a basic attack with 1 second of dodging an enemy attack. Then move to the nearest enemy and ambush them, dealing damage based on the higher attack power between physical attack and magic attack. Damage dealt to the ambushed enemies amplified by 50% for 3 seconds. Decadence Sword. Used to create a corruption zone that lasts 10 seconds. Cooldown 20 seconds. All attacks on enemies within the corruption zone land as critical hits. This one is basically useless to stack because whenever you attack, it turns on at once. And since all it does is makes it so all your attacks are critical hits, it does basically nothing. Another interesting one. Physical attack increases by 40% for each Master Precinct. So when you combine all of them, it becomes this. Cup of Faith. Cup of Fate. Physical attack increases by 60% for each Master Precinct. Possession. Physical attack increases by 50% each time an item with the Master Precinct inscription is destroyed. And I have 5020 physical attack. Pretty good. Point of Extinction. Enables the player to enter the ominous and silent disaster states. The state changes each time the skill is used. Damage dealt to enemies while in ominous state is amplified by 40%. Skill cooldown speed while in disaster state increases by 130%. So basically it just multiplies that all by 9 times. So basically you can just do this very quickly. Branches of Destruction. Branches of Destruction grow to deal damage to enemies. Once the branches of destruction are fully grown, use the skill to have them reach out and deal damage to nearby enemies based on their higher attack power. Branches of Destruction deal 50% more damage to enemies with 30% less, 30% HP or less, and adventurers and bosses with 20% or less. This one is pretty useless. It just takes too long and it's just a vulnerability. Not worth it. Anyways, that was the video. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.